So, could you tell us a bit about the gigs that you put on at Cuba?
The gigs we do at Cuba are mostly showcases for emerging bands from all across the UK in general. Sometimes goes beyond that, but mostly showcase events and bigger gigs as well, like for bands that are already established.
How do you choose the bands that come to Cuba? Is there a certain aesthetic of a band?
Well, we book the bands based on the venue itself's a very indie club night, indie ethos kind of thing. Indie's a very broad genre, so we get away with a lot of music within that. So generally we book around that. We'll have source bands that we like and we think are emerging. Do like either tips lists or just agents we know. And then we also have popular like agencies within the UK as well, mostly they're based down south, that will email us like press and inquiries about bands that they've took on, etc. So we'll generally just piece all that together and pick ones we like, generally.
So what are the differences between an intimate show at the Cuba and a massive arena show?
Well, I find, like me personally, when I go to a venue of the same capacity as Cuba, which is around like 250 to like late 200s, 300, depending on the gigs, I like the fact that it's still, like, you can always see, you can always get to the front if you want to be at the front. You don't have to wait too long to get in if you want a drink, which is a big part of going to local gigs for me. You can just go to the bar and you don't have to wait too long to get served. I think everything's just accessible. Toilets, don't have to wait too long. Like, there's certain arenas and stuff where you can get about, but I do feel like you're more disconnected at an arena, where at a show with 200 odd people in, you can then say to that band afterwards, hey, I really liked your gig. You know, you can either do it online, in person. Like, you're going to see them because it's that small of a venue that you're going to be there. They're going to be there, like amongst it. Yeah.
Who are your personal highlights when you've put on bands in the past?
Not one that I put on, but one that I repped, where we kind of like co-promoted with, was the Kids of Solid Gold gig with We Are Scientists last year. They were like a big favourite band of mine when I was 18, 19. I think I saw them in Empire when I was about 19, and I never thought, like, at the time I wasn't as involved as I am now. So there was like a big highlight, meeting them, looking after them. It was a bit like a big part of repping gigs is you don't stand there and be like starstruck. You don't kind of like, you meet these people and they're just people, like, hi, you know, I'm Simon, hi, you know. You get the gig over with, and once the gig's finally done and stuff, you then still don't even badger them for anything. So you just kind of like look after them. But looking after one of my favourite bands from that era was like I mean, they're still going and releasing stuff, but like for me, that was like a highlight.
And finally, who would be the dream band to play at Cuba?
It's really hard, this one, because like when I was talking about like the music I used to love when I was like 18, 19, that's generally like people's like highlights, because it's like, oh, remember when I was young and I used to go to, like, you know, I used to like mosh, I used to throw myself around in the crowd and stuff, like, so I've kind of like seen them or booked them. So We Are Scientists were there, like Milburn for me as well. Even stuff like The Enemy and stuff, and the Pigeon Detectives. Like, I was like 18 at the time, so like that was like the heyday of like guitar music and stuff. So like with the venue being very on that level, it's like, I don't know, but I mean, like, Milburn's coming up, so I could definitely still say Milburn, because I am interested to see how that goes. I'm terrified.
Yep, that's brilliant, thanks.
Yeah, no worries. Hey.